Sean Strickland and Jared Cannonier has been canceled off of their main event of the UFC Fight Night they were scheduled for because of an infected finger. I'm not even joking here. One of Sean Strickland's training partners bit Sean Strickland's finger a few weeks ago. The tooth was inside of his finger and it got infected. And just now, he went to the emergency room, had to get disinfected and things like that. Tried to see what the problem was, but it was so infected that his scheduled fight with Jared Cannonier has been canceled, according to Dana White in an interview yesterday afternoon after Dana White's Contender Series. So I've heard from Dana White they're not going to be rescheduling the fight. They're not going to be putting this fight later down the line or anything like that. They're not going to get a replacement for Jared Cannonier on that card. I'm really not too sure what they're going to do. They could change their minds and put this rematch in December or January of next year. You never know with the UFC. But as of right now, there needs to be a new main event for that UFC fight. Now, what do y'all think? Who do you think would have won between Cannonier and Strickland? And what do y'all think about the injury? Thiago Santos calls out Paulo Costa for UFC 283 in Brazil on the main card at pay-per-view. Brazil versus Brazil in Brazil on the main card of UFC 283. Who wins in this fight in the 205-pound division? I'm trying to comment on this guy right here. 205 would be the division right there. But put your predictions for this potential fight down below in the comments. Gilbert Melendez is unretiring and potentially could come back to fight in Khabib Nurmagomedov's organization, Eagle FC. This is some crazy news in the UFC lightweight division. There's a possibility that this fight may happen, but we shall see. I mean, Eagle FC, he might be able to make some more money over there in Khabib Nurmagomedov's promotion. Maybe he fights in LFA. I don't know. What do y'all think? Who should Gilbert Melendez fight in his return to MMA? Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa versus Jon Jones in the heavyweight division in 2023 is possible. I'm not out here saying that this is a fight that is completely outlandish to happen in the UFC's heavyweight division. If you think about it, Jon Jones possibly going out there to fight Stipe Miocic. Maybe he goes out there to fight Francis Ngannou when he is done with his injury. If Tai Tuivasa goes out there and wins this weekend against Ciryl Gane, that'll put Tai Tuivasa as the #1 contender in the UFC heavyweight division, which means beating the #1 contender for Tuivasa means he probably gets the winner of Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic and Ngannou, that whole situation. Tuivasa probably would go out there and get the winner. So it's not completely outlandish to say this fight can possibly happen. Now, this is a quote from Tai Tuivasa. He says, if he ever fights Jon Jones, who he asked to fight months ago in DMs, win or lose, I'll get in there, I'll give him a smack, and I'll dink him, and I'll sink him. If I dink him, and then I will sink him, says Tai Tuivasa. Who would win a potential matchup in the heavyweight division? Bam Bam or Jon Bone Jones? Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov in the UFC's lightweight division retires from all combat sports. We thought it was just MMA. We thought maybe Khabib comes back for like a wrestling match with Gilbert Burns, with Shavkat Rakhmonov, with Khamzat Chimaev, something crazy like that, just to stir up some interest with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Maybe a grappling match, maybe a wrestling match. But sadly, he retires from all competition, mixed martial arts and grappling and wrestling. He says to Dana White, I'm retired, brother. I'm done. As Dana White was trying to get him interested in a potential grappling match with one of Dana's UFC fighters. But it turns out he will not return to MMA, to the UFC, and he will never return to ever going out there in a wrestling match or a grappling match. I'm retired, brother. I'm done. What do y'all think about Khabib retiring from all sorts of mixed martial arts? Put your thoughts down below. Jorge Gamebred Masvidal versus Ben Askren 2 in the welterweight division. Now, this is a possibility. You never know if Jorge Masvidal would like to make a little bit more money than he's making right now, get himself back into that title picture, and get a nice win, because right now he's on a losing streak. Kamaru Usman twice, then a Colby Covington by unanimous decision. Ben Askren says the only fight that'll get him to unretire and come back to the UFC and to MMA would be a rematch, and maybe trilogy if he wins that rematch, with game bred Jorge Masvidal. What do y'all think? Who wins the rematch, Ben Askren or Jorge Masvidal in 2023? I doubt it happens, but you never know. Maybe Ben comes back for one last hurrah. If he wins, oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. They're going to have a trilogy on pay-per-view. It's going to be nuts, but put your thoughts down below. Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. Betting odds, minus 160 for Anderson Silva, plus 130 for Jake Paul. Betting odds started at Jake Paul having minus 180 odds, and Anderson Silva at plus 150, which is very interesting. The odds flipped a lot right there after this fight was announced a few days ago. Not announced, but rumored for a potential boxing match on October 30th of 2022, just around the time period that Anderson Silva retired from mixed martial arts. Put your prediction down below for this fight. What do you think about the betting odds? Thanks for watching that one. Israel Adesanya expects Robert Whittaker to beat Marvin Vettori, quote, easily in the co-main events at UFC France. He's not excited for Saturday's co-main event with Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori. He says Robert Whittaker is going to win. He's going to win easily. What do y'all think? Who wins this matchup at UFC Fight Night? Tuivasa versus Gone. Gianni the Greek, 2-16 in his last 18. Dana White's Contender Series bets. Bert MMA doing much better, up about $400 on Contender Series this year. Check the link down below in the description for all of my bets. Gianni's bets are just absolute booty. Billy Quarantillo versus Alexander Hernandez, set for UFC 282 via Big Marcel on Instagram and Iridium Sports Agency for December 10th. Who do you think wins that fight? In the featherweight division, Wanderlei Silva retires from MMA after a crazy long MMA career in Pride, in the UFC, and all sort of Bellator even. It's been a crazy career, but Wanderlei Silva, however you want to say it, has retired. This is the lineup for UFC France. If you want to pause it, you can do so. That is it for today's MMA news. Make sure to like this video. Let's go 20 likes. Make sure to comment your thoughts on today's MMA news. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.